Do you ever feel like there's something stuck in your throat? That annoying, constant phlegm or mucus that just won't go away, no matter how much water you drink or how many times you clear your throat. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. In this video, we're exploring the real causes of that frustrating mucus buildup and how you can manage it effectively. What is phlegm and mucus? Before we explore the causes, it's essential to understand what mucus and phlegm actually are. Mucus is a slippery, protective substance produced by the mucous membranes throughout your body, particularly in the respiratory, digestive, and reproductive systems. It's like a natural defense system that helps trap dirt, germs, and other foreign particles to prevent them from entering your lungs or other critical organs. Phlegm, on the other hand, is a type of mucus specifically produced by the respiratory system, most commonly during infections like colds or bronchitis. It is usually thicker than regular mucus and tends to sit in your throat or lungs, making it harder to expel. In a healthy body, mucus production is normal and necessary. However, when there's too much of it, or when it becomes unusually thick, it can feel like a constant blockage in your throat. That's where the problem starts. So, let's take a closer look at why your body might be producing too much mucus. 1. Allergies. One of the most common causes of excess mucus in the throat is allergies. When you're allergic to something, whether it's pollen, dust, mold, or pet dander, your immune system goes into overdrive. It releases a chemical called histamine to fight off the allergen. While this response is meant to protect you, it also causes your body to produce more mucus as part of its defense mechanism. Allergic rhinitis, or hay fever, can lead to the thickening of mucus in your nasal passages and throat. This is your body's way of trying to trap allergens. But the end result is that you constantly feel the need to clear your throat. If your symptoms are worse during certain seasons, or when you're around specific triggers like pets or dust, allergies might be the underlying cause. Additionally, people with asthma often experience excess mucus production due to chronic inflammation of their airways. This can make them more sensitive to allergens, further worsening the problem. Allergy medications like antihistamines and nasal. But it's always good to consult a doctor to find the right treatment. 2. Respiratory infections. Another significant contributor to constant phlegm is respiratory infections. Whether it's a cold, flu, or more serious conditions like bronchitis or pneumonia, these infections can lead to a dramatic increase in mucus production. Your body's immune system responds to the infection by ramping up mucus as a way to trap and expel the germs causing the problem. This can cause you to feel congested, with thick, sticky phlegm stuck in your throat or chest. The color of phlegm can also tell you a lot about what's going on. Clear mucus is usually a sign of a viral infection, like the common cold. Yellow or green phlegm can indicate a bacterial infection, as your immune system sends white blood cells to the infected area, which can turn the mucus these colors. In some cases, these infections can turn into chronic conditions. For example, people with chronic bronchitis or COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, often experience daily mucus production, even when they're not actively sick. If you notice that you're producing more mucus over a long period of time, it may be worth consulting a doctor to rule out any underlying respiratory conditions. 3. Postnasal drip. Postnasal drip is another major culprit when it comes to constant throat mucus. This happens when excess mucus builds up in your nasal passages and drips down the back of your throat, instead of exiting through your nose. The result? That sticky, uncomfortable sensation in your throat that just won't go away. Postnasal drip can be triggered by a range of factors, including sinus infections, allergies, colds, and even dry air. It often gets worse at night, especially if you sleep on your back, because gravity causes the mucus to collect in your throat. You might wake up with a sore throat or find that you're constantly swallowing or clearing your throat throughout the day. Over-the-counter saline sprays, nasal irrigation systems like a neti pot, and antihistamines can help reduce postnasal drip. Sleeping with your head elevated can also help prevent mucus from pooling in your throat while you sleep. 4. Gastroesophageal reflux disease. Another often overlooked cause of excessive throat mucus is acid reflux, particularly a condition known as gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD. GERD occurs when stomach acid flows back up into your esophagus, irritating the lining and causing a burning sensation or heartburn. However, in some cases, the acid doesn't cause noticeable heartburn but instead triggers the production of excess mucus as your throat tries to protect itself from the irritation. This type of reflux is sometimes called silent reflux because you might not feel the typical symptoms of GERD. Instead, you're left with a constant feeling of phlegm or the urge to clear your throat, particularly after eating or when lying down. To manage GERD, you can try lifestyle changes like avoiding spicy and fatty foods, eating smaller meals, and not lying down right after eating. Over-the-counter antacids or medications to reduce stomach acid can also help, but it's important to consult with a doctor for a proper diagnosis and treatment plan. 5. Dehydration. Dehydration is another simple yet powerful cause of excessive mucus in the throat. When your body doesn't get enough water, the mucus becomes thicker and stickier, making it more difficult to clear. This is because water helps thin the mucus, allowing it to move more easily through your respiratory system. If you're not drinking enough fluids, or if you're losing water through exercise, heat, or caffeine, your mucus can become more concentrated and much harder to swallow. The result? A constant feeling of having something stuck in your throat. A simple way to combat this is by increasing your water intake. Herbal teas, broths, and other hydrating fluids can also help thin out mucus and make it easier to clear from your system. 6. Smoking and pollution. Smoking is one of the most harmful habits when it comes to excessive mucus production. The chemicals in cigarette smoke irritate the mucous membranes in your respiratory tract, causing them to produce more mucus in an attempt to protect themselves. Over time, smoking can damage the tiny hair-like structures in your airways, called cilia, that are responsible for sweeping out mucus and debris. Without these functioning properly, mucus builds up in your throat and lungs, leading to persistent coughing and discomfort. Pollution has a similar effect. Exposure to harmful particles in the air, whether from traffic, factories, or other sources, causes your respiratory system to produce more mucus as a way to trap these particles and keep them from entering your lungs. If you live in an area with high air pollution, consider using an air purifier indoors and avoid outdoor activities during peak pollution times. 7. Foods and drinks. Finally, your diet can also play a role in excess mucus production. Certain foods and drinks are known to trigger mucus production, especially in people who are more sensitive to them. Dairy products, for instance, are often blamed for making mucus thicker and harder to swallow. While this effect can vary from person to person, it's worth noting if you notice a pattern between consuming dairy and increased throat mucus. Spicy foods can also irritate your throat and cause mucus to thicken. Similarly, alcohol and caffeine are diuretics, which means they can dehydrate your body, leading to thicker mucus. Reducing your intake of these foods and drinks may help relieve the sensation of constant phlegm in your throat. Constant phlegm in your throat can be incredibly frustrating, but understanding its root causes can help you manage it more effectively. There are plenty of ways to reduce the symptoms and feel better. If your symptoms persist or worsen, it's always a good idea to consult with a healthcare professional. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment.